we are jumping right into this explainer because, let's be honest, if you're a houseplant parent, you already know the heartbreak. You bring home this gorgeous, vibrant green plant, right? And then, a few weeks later, you look closely and there they are, those dreaded, brown, crispy, curled-up tips right on the ends of the leaves. It's incredibly frustrating. But look, you are absolutely not alone. Today, we're tackling this head-on. We're going to answer the ultimate question. Why are my plant leaves getting brown, crispy tips? We'll cover the top 5 causes and exactly how to fix it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Why are your plant's leaves getting so crispy in the first place? It's really easy to look at a ruined leaf and feel like you've somehow failed. But I want you to completely reframe how you look at this. The crispy edge isn't a failure at all. It's just a signal. Your plant is simply communicating that there's an environmental imbalance. It's basically raising a tiny brown, crispy flag asking for a little help. And by the end of this explainer, you're going to be completely fluent in translating that exact signal.
Here is our quick roadmap for today. We'll start with diagnosing those brown tips, then look at the science of leaf scorch, cover the top 5 causes and fixes, and wrap up with preventing future brown tips. Let's get started.
Section 1. Diagnosing brown crispy tips. Time to put on our plant detective hats.
Matching what you see with how the soil feels is this amazing simple trick that points straight to our culprits. So, for example, if you see brown tips plus yellowing lower leaves and the soil feels like an absolute brick, you're definitely dealing with underwatering. But if you just have brown tips, especially on your tropicals, and the soil is perfectly moist, well, low humidity is your #1 culprit. And pay attention to this one. If there is a distinct yellow halo separating that dead brown tip from the healthy green leaf, you almost certainly have a water quality issue. Knowing these signs literally takes all the guesswork out of the equation.
Moving on to Section 2, the science of leaf scorch. Before we jump into fixing the plant, we really need to understand how this damage actually happens.
Leaf scorch, or tip burn, is essentially tissue death. Think of a plant's vascular system exactly like our own human circulatory system. It is constantly working to pump water from the roots all the way up to the furthest edges of those leaves. So the really crucial thing to understand here is that the very tip of the leaf is literally the last stop on the train. It is the last place to get a drink. When something goes wrong, maybe there's just not enough water in the soil, or the dry air is sucking moisture out way too fast, or mineral salts are clogging up the pipes, the plant simply cannot supply those furthest tips with enough hydration to keep the tissue alive. So it dries up, it dies, and it gets crispy.
All right, Section 3, the top 5 causes and fixes. Let's pair up the most common causes of this leaf scorch with their immediate actionable solutions.
Because cause #1 is entirely about this number. 40 to 60%. That is the ambient humidity level that most of our favorite tropical houseplants, think calatheas, your ferns, your palms, they absolutely crave that level of moisture. Remember, these guys originated in lush, super humid rainforests. But our modern homes, especially when we're blasting the heat in the winter or the AC in the summer, they are incredibly dry, usually falling way below that 40% mark. So, that dry air acts like a sponge, pulling moisture right out of the leaves faster than the roots can even replace it. The fix here? Use a humidifier, group your plants together so they create a little microclimate, or set up a pebble tray filled with water. Now, if you do the tray, just make sure the pot sits on the pebbles, not directly in the water, otherwise you'll get root rot. And I know you might be tempted to just grab a spray bottle, but misting only raises humidity for a few minutes. It's really not a long-term fix.
Which brings us to cause #2, underwatering. When the soil is bone dry, there simply isn't enough water for the roots to send upstairs. Plants are incredibly smart survivalists, you guys. To keep its core alive, a plant will intentionally cut off the water supply to its extremities. It sacrifices the leaf tips and the older, lower leaves first. The fix is straightforward but absolutely vital. You've got to give that plant a deep, thorough soak to completely rehydrate that hardened root ball.
And truly, the best way to do that is bottom watering. If you just pour water over the top of bone-dry soil, you know what happens, right? It just runs straight down the sides of the pot and out the bottom without absorbing it all. Instead, try this. Step 1, place the pot in a bowl or sink with a few inches of water. Step 2, just let it sit. Let it absorb water from the bottom up, kind of like a sponge, for about 30 to 60 minutes. Step 3, once the pot feels heavy and fully hydrated, take it out, let it drain completely, and commit to a more consistent watering schedule.
Cause #3, water quality. Tap water is often full of heavy mineral salts, fluoride, and chlorine.
These actually accumulate at the edges of the leaves over time, eventually reaching toxic levels and burning the tissue. This famously shows up as that brown tip with the yellow halo we talked about earlier. The fix is easy. Switch to distilled, filtered, or rainwater. Oh, and a quick heads up. Just leaving tap water out for 24 hours? Yeah, that only evaporates the chlorine. It does absolutely nothing for fluoride or heavy minerals, so filtering really is the way to go here.
Luckily, cause number 4 is super easy to spot: too much direct sun. Believe it or not, your plants can absolutely get a sunburn. Intense, direct sunlight heats up those delicate tropical leaves, causing them to burn through their water stores incredibly rapidly, which kills the cells. This shows up as brown, crispy tips, but usually along with faded, bleached, or scorched-looking patches right where the sun is hitting them. The fix? Just scoot the plant a few feet back from that bright window, or soften the light by pulling a sheer curtain closed.
Finally, cause number 5, fertilizer burn. Too much of a good thing is definitely a bad thing when it comes to plant food. Over-fertilizing leads to a massive buildup of mineral salts in the soil, and these salts literally burn the plant's roots. If the roots are damaged, they can't absorb water properly, and boom, we're right back to vascular failure and those brown, crispy tips. You'll usually see this happen a week or 2 after you fed a plant, especially if you gave a full-strength dose while the soil was totally dry.
So, how do you rescue a plant with fertilizer burn? You have to flush the soil. Pick up your plant and take it straight to the sink or the shower. Turn the water on lukewarm, never hot, never freezing cold, and just let a slow, steady stream run continuously through the soil and out the drainage holes for several minutes. This literally washes those excess fertilizer salts right out of the dirt. It is a total lifesaver. After you do this, hold off on feeding it for at least 1 to 2 months so the roots can heal. When you do resume fertilizing, always dilute it to half strength.
Section 4. Preventing future brown tips. Let's lock in a quick, best practice routine so your leaves stay perfectly green all year round.
Okay, here are your core best practices. First, prioritize humidity. Investing in a small humidifier is a total game changer for tropicals. Next, check your soil regularly and water consistently so your plant never has to sacrifice its edges just to survive. For your sensitive plants, make the permanent switch to filtered or distilled water. Fourth, follow the less is more rule with fertilizer. Dilute heavily and only feed during the spring and summer growing seasons. And finally, a question we get all the time. Can you trim the brown tips? Yes, absolutely. You can trim right along the dead brown edges, following the natural shape of the leaf. It's purely for aesthetics and won't hurt the plant one bit. But remember, a brown tip is dead tissue. It's never gonna magically turn green again. You're just giving it a little haircut to make it look nice while the new, healthy growth comes in.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. Which fix will you implement to rescue your plant's leaves today? You've got the diagnostic knowledge, you understand the vascular science behind the scenes, and you have the top 5 actionable fixes ready to go right now. The next time you spot a crispy brown tip, don't panic. Just listen to what your plant is telling you, check the soil, check the environment, and step in with absolute confidence. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and happy growing.